Dear people of Estonia, dear Europeans, on 20 August, Estonia will celebrate the 26th anniversary of the restoration of its independence. During this important time of regaining our freedom, Europe was there for Estonia and welcomed us. We need this support and turn our case toward the West. There has been no reason to question the decision. As early as 13 years after the restoration of Estonians' independence, 13 years ago, Estonia became a member of the European Union. It has been an important goal for us, and the European Union has proven to be everything we hoped it would be. Europe is peace. Europe is freedom and shared values. It is our chosen path and joint decision. I would like to thank all the presidents, parliament members, and prime ministers of Estonia who have been in office since the restoration of independence for keeping Estonia the European course. Even in times when difficult issues have been discussed, any important decisions made, the European Union has always been self-evident for Estonians. We know that cohesion comes at a price, and we sometimes have to compromise to attain the greater good for all Europeans. When it comes to beginning together in the European Union, I am certain that the best is yet to come. Dear audience, the main aim of the Estonian Presidency is to achieve balance through unity. In the European Union, we must strike a balance between the East and the West, the North and the South, great and small, new and traditional, safe and daring. Estonia is a small country, but we have our own unique set of experiences and many valuable ideas that we would like to share with Europe. This is why we wish to have a decisive approach during our presidency and look at our common future together. I am very grateful to Joseph Muscat, the Prime Minister of Malta, which currently holds the presidency, Donald Tusk, the President of the European Council, Jean-Claude Juncker, the President of the European Commission, and Antonio Tajani, the President of the European Parliament, for their support and encouragement in our preparations for the presidency. I would also like to take a deep bow to our members of Parliament, ministers, and hard-working civil servants. Dear people of Estonia, for the next 6 months, all eyes in Europe are on us. This is the time to show who we are, what we can do, and how we live. However, it is also time to listen carefully to what others have to say. Let us these moments wisely and let us all make a contribution. The more Europe knows our way of life and thinking that great Estonia is, the better we understand others, the more united Europe is. Our most important goal over the next 6 months and beyond is to make Europe more united and stronger. We wish to contribute to the development of the European Union and together tackle the challenges we face. If in 6 months the member states and institutions of the EU have less concern and more joy, if Europe is more secure, close-knit and safer, it will mean we have succeeded. Dear Europeans, next year, Estonia will celebrate its 100th birthday. I'm certain that in 2024, when we will be celebrating the 20th anniversary of our EU membership, many things will be different. However, some things will not change. Europe will still stand for peace, freedom, and understanding. Estonia is ready for the presidency. Thank you. Dear ladies and gentlemen, now I would like to give the floor for the speech the President of the European Council, Mr. Donald Tusk. Donald, please.
Madam President, dear Kirsty, Mr. Prime Minister, dear Jüri, President, dear Jean-Claude, dear friends, it was the autumn of 1980. The Solidarity Revolution had just begun in Poland. I remember as if it was today, when at one of the many rallies, someone read out the electrifying news. In Tallinn, the people have taken to the streets. This is the beginning of the end of the Soviet Empire, claimed someone overly optimistic. That was my first encounter with Estonia. You can't even imagine what it meant for us, Poles, the fact that we were not all alone. But it was 8 years later when I really fell in love with Estonia, at the time of the Singing Revolution. Never before and never after had I seen anything so moving in public life, so powerful and peaceful at the same time. The strength of solidarity, unity, and freedom revealed itself in the images which to this day move me to tears. I have known ever since that people holding hands can be stronger than people holding guns. In my life, I have seen many revolutions and mass rebellions. In some, I have taken part. But I have to admit that it was your revolution that perfectly connected the three dimensions: ethical, aesthetic, and pragmatic. You did what you needed to do fairly, beautifully, and effectively. you didn't cease to amaze me also later. For my political environment, which initiated the reforms in Poland at the beginning of the 1990s, you became an example of unprecedented courage in transforming the economic and financial reality. You were ambitious and extremely hardworking. And this is why, to this day, you remain a symbol of success in the difficult process of abandoning communism. Your visionary tax policy, budget discipline, handling of the crisis in 2010, and adoption of the common currency have made Estonia a role model for the region and beyond. What has made an equally strong impression on the rest of Europe more recently is your determination and creativity in realizing the vast project of digitalization. Estonia has become an example to follow for all Europeans with aspirations. And today we can easily call your country the leader of the IT revolution on a global scale. You would be tempted to ask, how is it possible that so few people have achieved so much? The European Union is not about procedures or bureaucracy. It is the single most ambitious political project in the history of Europe. And the presidency that you have just assumed is not only an organizational task for officials. The presidency is your collective leadership in these difficult but also hopeful times. Throughout years of hard work and sacrifice, you have established authority and a reputation for yourselves, which provide a good mandate for such leadership. When I think of Estonia, I think of Paul Keres and Arvo Pärt, Carmen Kass and Kelly Sildaru, symbols of talent, wisdom, beauty, and energy. And I have no doubt that this is exactly what your presidency will reflect. And I understand more and more why you sing your national anthem with such pride. Mój sama, młynia Rym, kui kaunis oled sa. Thank you.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, now I would like to give the floor to the President of the European Commission, Mr. Jean-Claude Juncker. Please, the floor is yours.
Madam President, dear Prime Minister, dear President Tusk, dear Estonian Vice President of the European Commission, well known in this country, dear Andrus, ladies and gentlemen, tere õhtust. For those who are less fluent in Estonian than me, that means good evening. It is indeed a great pleasure to be with you here in Tallinn for the launch of the first ever Estonian presidency. It has been a long time in the making, but I already know that it will be worth the wait. Estonia's European love story started long before you enriched our union on May Day 2004. The architects of Estonian independence had witnessed the atrocities of war and had a vision of a peaceful Europe built on both economic and political integration. And even before that, the Young Estonia movement called on their compatriots with their now famous slogan, "Let's be Estonians, but become Europeans." Today, that European spirit is alive. Estonians are consistently amongst the most positive about the European Union. I'm convinced that this Estonian presidency will build on this positive momentum and contribute to a more prosperous, a more secure future for all Europeans. The programme, the priorities you have set out clearly shows that. From security to sustainability, from protection to prosperity, the work you will do over the next 6 months will help us build a Europe that delivers. In many ways, this wonderful, historic city is a symbol of where Europe needs to go. Tallinn is one of the great Hanseatic cities. It has been built on trade with the rest of the world since the 13th century. Today, it is one of the most forward-looking cities in Europe. Its cutting-edge technology and digital infrastructure are admired all over Europe. That mix of history and future is inspiring us as Europe looks forward. We have much to learn and much to benefit from Estonia, notably in becoming as digital as you already are, but also when it comes to embracing new challenges, whether they be on defense, migration, or technological development. This is the forward-looking vision that the European Union, that Europe needs, and I'm absolutely certain that Estonia can provide it. Elagu Eesti, elagu Euroopa. Aitäh. For the non-Estonians, I was just saying, long live Estonia, long live Europe. Thank you.